Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today with Thales. My name is Nahal and I'm part of the Student Success team here at Target Jobs. We're excited to be joined by representatives from Thales who will be telling us more about their company, who they are, and their application processes. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please pop them into the Questions tab at the bottom of the screen. Towards the end, our Thales representatives will go through and answer your questions. For now, I'm going to hand it over to Kerry to kick things off.
Thank you very much. So hi everybody and welcome. As mentioned, I'm from Thales and I'm just going to go through a presentation to tell you a bit more about the company, who we are, what we do, a bit about our graduate programs, and we've also got some other people, so some of our current graduates that started with us this year, some that have been on our program for a couple of years, and also a graduate that has rolled off that will be able to give you some insight as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share a quick video with you just so you can give you an insight to who we are and what we do. So I'm just going to press play. Perfect. So Thales, who are we and what do we do? So we are a global engineering and technology company, and we create technological systems and innovation that impact and improve people's lives every single day. And we have operations in over 56 different countries. So I usually joke around saying we're probably one of the biggest companies in the world that no one's ever heard of, but you definitely would have come into contact with some of our products. So we have 4 key markets that we work across. That is aerospace, space, defence and security, and digital identity and security. So just to take you through a bit more about our sectors and the kind of products that we do there. So as you can see, we are #1 worldwide provider for our air traffic management. Thales also makes connected in-flight entertainment simple, seamless and secure. And Thales provide advanced simulation tools and resources for both civil and military aircrafts. And again, here you can see down the bottom just some of the areas where we are #2 and #3 worldwide, and also 2 out of 3 aircrafts take off and land using our system. So as I mentioned, there's loads of different stuff in your everyday life that you come across that we are a part of. Space, so this is one of our smaller areas in the company, but I'll just take you over a bit about what we do there. So we provide experts with information about the weather, the climate and the state of our planet, so they can get ready for storms, understand the impact of climate change, all while enabling sustainable development. And again, you can see that we are #1 world leader in operational space oceanographic, sorry, I couldn't say that. And also 100% electric with 14 communication satellites. So a bit about our defence and security sector. Thales integrates all types of security systems to keep you safe at large events by using scanners, gate monitors and more. We also have over 100 plus warships that are equipped with Thales solutions, and Thales developed the Watchkeeper, which was the first operation-proven unmanned aircraft system developed and built in the UK. So as you can see, we've got a picture of that in the bottom right-hand corner of the PowerPoint presentation. We are also number one in cyber security and number one in data protection, as well as in airport security as well. So a bit about our digital identity and security. Thales secure information systems for 19 out of the 20 of the largest banks. We also have created fingerprint, facial and iris eye recognition systems. And since 2019, Thales has issued 30 million eco-friendly debit and credit cards. So if you have a look on the back of your credit or debit card, we will have Thales that's on there as well. And again, you can see at the bottom, we 180 countries where we sell our digital security solution. Also 30,000 business who use our technology, and 200 plus government programs are deployed as well. So our locations, where are we based within the UK? So as you can see, these are our main sites that we have. So we're as far north as Glasgow and to as far down south as Temple, which is around our Somerset area. In the northwest of the region, with the largest concentration of Thales supply chain jobs in the UK, we have over 160,000 in total, and that's with over 600 employees. In the southeast, we have over 2,370 employees on our two key sites is Crawley and Reading. So Crawley is probably our biggest site, and then Reading being our head office. And then in the southwest, we have employed over 1,100 people across two of our key sites in Bristol and Templecoombe. And again, with that being over 40 graduate and apprentices in that area as well. Perfect. So our career opportunities. Ronnie, did you want to go through that?
So we offer both graduate and apprentice programmes here at Thales. They vary in length from 12 months to 5 years. So at any one time, we employ over 400 people within our early careers space, and they make up 5% of the UK workforce. Next. So our graduate programme, we have various different roles that we offer. So for this year, for 2025 intake, we have HSE, business growth, various different engineering roles, procurement, bid and project management, contract management and finance, and they range from either 2 years to 3-year programmes, some of which are rotational and some are just in a fixed location. Bit weird when you're not driving it yourself.
Yeah, sorry.
So we're completely transparent with our graduate pay scales. So all of our graduates are paid the same. So all business graduates, apart from finance, will be paid 30,000 a year, and all of our engineering graduates and our finance graduates will start on 32,000. And then once they're in the system, you'll be clearly given a schedule which shows you exactly how much you're going to earn every year. So we have regular pay uplifts that happen every January, and that will be shared with everyone so you can see how you progress as you go through your programme from year 1 right the way through to year 2 or year 3, and then also what you will roll off on, so what you can expect to earn when you move into your role with the business. Next. So we also offer a whole host of benefits at Thales as well. We're really generous with the holiday, so we offer our staff 201 hours holiday a year, which works out at about 27 days, I think, plus we have a company day, which we're given at Christmas. We also get volunteering hours. So as part of the early careers community, you'll get given 80 hours a year for the first 2 years to go and do different activities a whole host of things. We volunteer locally, so we work with our food banks, homeless shelters, we go out to career fairs, we do STEM activities at school, so loads of stuff like that. You also benefit from pension, it's okay, an employee assistance, life assurance, a discount scheme, which is quite handy. You can get lots of discounts from holidays, cheap cinema tickets, a whole variety of different things. Is that it? Have I covered it all?
Yeah,
pretty much. There's quite a lot anyway. Okay, next. So life at Thales. So
sorry, I keep clicking too fast. It goes slow and then you click through.
So once you're in at Thales, you will be supported. We have an extensive support system in place. So there's a career development plan, there's lots of learning pathways, and we have an early careers committee, which is formed of members of the early careers, so both apprentices and graduates. There's representatives from each site, and they're there as a voice for you and to help you. So I'm sure that some of our graduates can speak about life at Thales when they get to their part a bit later.
Thank you. Perfect. So now we'll move on to, are you ready to join us? Also, hopefully you enjoyed the bit of music that went along to that there. But as you can see, that is what our application process looks like if you are interested in one of your roles. So just to go into it in a bit more further detail, to find our role, you will search for our Thales Early Careers webpage, and that will take you through to our job site where you'll be able to search for the roles that you may be interested in, whether that's, you know, a graduate role in engineering or business, etc. So our roles are currently open at the moment, and they will be closing in January for graduates. So that will be on the 5th of January, and then for our apprenticeships we close them a little bit later, which is on the 16th of February. At this point, what we do then, what you can do is also search for specific locations. So like Ronnie mentioned before, we have some roles that are rotational. So that will be after so many months, you can move to a different location, a different area of the subject that you're interested in. But then we do have some of our roles that are based in specific locations. So it all depends whether you're happy for that rotation or whether you want to stay in a specific location. And again, you can set up alerts just in case you want to look into further roles, and then they will come available and alert you once they come available. So a bit about our application process and what that looks like. So I've taken you through going to find the role. So that's where you go to one of our career websites. Then what you will do is you will apply it via the website, and then you will complete an online application form. So that will be on a different platform for where you applied. So you'll receive an email with that link in, and that's where you will complete some online assessment for us. You will then complete an online assessment, which is a psychometric part assessment. So that's where you will complete a series of questions. This will be around verbal reasoning, numeracy, and then a situation judgment. Once you've completed that, you will then record 3 videos of yourself answering questions. So again, that will be based on Thales, why the role, and then a real life situation question. Should you be successful for that, you will then attend one of our virtual assessment centres where you will participate in one group exercise and complete a one-to-one behavioural interview. And then for all our graduate roles, you then have a technical interview. And then if you're successful at the assessment centre, you will then receive an offer from us in which your onboarding will begin. We have got some graduates with us that have been through that process. So again, they will talk a bit about their experience. And then if you've got any questions at the end, I'm sure they'll be willing to answer them for you. So again, just to speak a bit about what our assessment centre looks like, as I've mentioned, you will be involved in one group activity. So that's where you'll be with probably around 5 to 6 other candidates. We'll give you a task and then you'll work together to complete that. Then you'll have a behavioural/competency-based interview. So with our assessment centres, we do send all interview questions to you beforehand. So with regards to the competency-based and the technical interviews, you'll receive them a week before in order for you to prepare for that assessment centre. All our assessment centres are completely virtual. We will provide you breaks throughout the whole day, just so it gives you that chance just to come out of one of those activities and then prepare yourself for the new one. So just to provide you with some hints and tips, what we do say is probably one of the biggest things is to research Thales. I always say Google is probably going to be your best friend. So make sure you research us as a company. You know, you really want to stand out as a candidate, show that you've done your research, you know, maybe speak about some of those products that really stand out to you that you're interested in. Also, make sure that you've read the job advert, make sure you've understood the job that you're applying for. So when you have those technical questions later down the line, it's easier for you to be able to answer them. Obviously, make sure that you have proofread your application. And make sure you use the practice questions before you complete the online psychometric assessment. So we will provide you with some practice sessions. You can try them out as much as you want. So I would say, you know, practice until you feel confident to then complete that online assessment. Also prepare for the interview. Again, like I said, we send all the questions out beforehand. So take that time to be able to read the question, make sure that you understand them and prepare it. You know, we don't mind if you bring along, you know, a document that you want just to give you some hints and tips for when you are responding to them. We're absolutely fine with you doing that. But, you know, they are there for you to be able to prepare so you can perform at your best. And also, if you want asked any questions at the end of the interview, you're more than welcome to do that. It just shows that you're engaged and you're interested in the role. And also, last but not least, I know this might seem a bit silly, but we always say be yourself. You know, we want you to perform at your best. We want to see what you are like at a candidate yourself, and also you're here to see what we are like as a company as well. When you are completing these questions, hopefully you would have heard of the STAR technique. So this is a great way to be able to prepare your answer and give them to the interviewer. It kind of gives that rounded kind of answer that you're giving them so they can understand. So let's talk about the situation, talk about the task, the action you took, and the result. So there you could see that we just gave you a quick glimpse of what our induction week looks like. So if you're successful for the role, the first week of September, we usually host an induction week. So that's where all of our graduate and apprentices across the UK that we've recruited for that week will usually come down to our Crawley site. And we try and make it feel a bit like Freshers Week, especially for those apprentices that might have missed out if they're not going to university. So it's a really, really great week. We try and make it as fun as possible. It's a really great way to network with your new colleagues that will be joining the same time as you. So we have some really good fun activities. We have disco bingo, which I'm sure some of the newbies on here that will speak about their experience might touch base on that. But that was a really, really fun event. Everybody got dressed up. We got to have a bit of a party, as you can see on the top. Oh, sorry, the top right hand side there. We also had builder bikes, so that's where we had a charity come in and we built bikes for the charity. I think we had around 21, I think we said in there. Apologies if I haven't got that correct, which then it will give to homeless people around the area, so they've got a use of transport as well. We also had a quiz evening, so that was really good fun, and that was hosted by our early careers committee. And then we also had inflatables, outdoor inflatables and indoor games as well. So you can see some of our colleagues, Ronnie, who's on the call today, enjoying that inflatable there as well. So really, really good fun week. So what's next? If you are interested, we have what we call our connector platform. That's where we have some really good information about Thales, the roles we have on offer. You can also speak to our current graduate and apprentices. So we have what we call buddies on there. So you can reach out to them, ask them any questions that you may have. You've also got myself and the early careers team on there. So if you've got any questions about a specific program or the recruitment process, you can click onto us as well, and we're able to help you. We do try and respond to you within 48 hours. So, you know, if you do reach out to us, we will make sure it's our priority to respond to you, and we can help you with any questions that you have. And again, it's got some really great hints and tips on there on how to answer a good competency-based interviews, about group activities and what virtual assessment centre might look like. So if you are interested, you can scan this code. So I'll leave that up there on the screen for a couple of minutes. And then, yeah, you can log on, sign up, have a look around, and then reach out to any of our current grads and apprentices or the early careers teams should you have any questions. Perfect. If you do miss that, then I'm sure we can get that sent out to everyone as well, for you to sign up. So before I moved on to any questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to hand over to some of our lovely graduates that we've got here with us today. So please, I'm going to hand over to you if you want to take us through your experience. Thank you.
Richard, want to start?
Yeah. Sorry, I realised it was Richard that was going to start. Apologies.
Yeah, hi guys. My name's Richard Caroline. I'm on the bid and project management graduate scheme. I have been relocated to Belfast, so I'm from just North London originally, and I'm having a great time here. I know with the assessment centres and the way I joined the company has been really great. I found the interview process really streamlined. All the staff being incredibly friendly definitely was one of the biggest things that I've seen. Having obviously left university, you are looking for many different jobs, and that is one thing that I definitely noticed with Thales was how friendly the staff were. In the interview process, I did prepare and do my research with the company. So I studied military history at university. So I specialized in military, and therefore Thales was always on my radar of jobs that I hoped to join. And it's been great ever since. I've now moved to Belfast for a year for the rotation scheme, and I'm having a great time here. There's a massive early careers community here We go out, for drinks or for activities. Like we've got one planned this weekend where we're all going for a hike. So just loads of activity. So even though you're relocating to a new place and you may not know the people there are plenty of people in the same situation as you, just like university, where you could get to know everyone. Your colleagues also do become your friends, so you're never left alone. And there's loads of stuff and activities to do here. Even outside of early careers with regular staff, they're always willing to do social activities with you. So yeah, I hope that answers.
Brill. Thank you, Richard. That's great insight of your experience, especially that this is you started with us in September. So it's great to give everybody a view kind of how you felt that recruitment process was, etc. So yeah, if we move on to Lise then. So again, Lise started with us in September.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm Lise. I am in the Business Growth Graduate Scheme. So that is a rotational one. Right now, I am doing my first year as a market analyst in the marketing and strategy team, which for now has been absolutely great. And I'm based on the Crawley side, so not too far from London. But I actually had to move because I was living in Portsmouth before that. So, and Thales supported me through the move. There are some help for you if you get assigned somewhere else. You're not just dropped into the ocean and get told to go somewhere and that's it. So that is a great point. And personally, I picked Thales because maybe the accent didn't give it away, but I'm French and we do love our aerospace companies in France. I'm very proud of having been able to join, even though it's in the UK. It confuses a lot of my French colleagues, but that's fine. I'm happy with the graduate scheme. And for the application process, I will say I have used a connector because it allowed me to practice my STAR technique and also read up more about Thales values and practices, which actually came in handy during the assessment center. So I cannot recommend enough signing up, giving it a browse through, pinging maybe a mentor if you have questions. Although I understand it's very daunting. I didn't ping a mentor, I was too scared. But now I am one, so don't hesitate. And life as a new grad is great. The induction week was very nice. I had a second induction week afterwards that was also great. And I wake up every morning. I'm quite happy to get to work, which is not a given in any position. So I hope that tells enough for now.
Brilliant. That's great. Thank you so much for your insight on that, Lise. So now we're going to move on to a current graduate that's been with us for a couple of years now, and she's just going to give a bit of insight, kind of where she started and where she is now. So if I pass over to you, Megan.
Hi, so I'm Megan Backhouse. I joined Thales in 2023, so I'm in my second year now. Before that, I studied electrical and electronic engineering, but in terms of the engineering grad scheme, you can do any sort of STEM discipline, so it doesn't have to be a specific one. And yeah, I've really loved it since I've been here. My first placement was in a central team, so I did a lot of digital transformation work, and that was more strategic looking, which was quite fun. And then now I've moved into underwater systems, which is a little bit more technical. So I'm allowing myself to sort of gain a wide experience of different roles and opportunities that are in Thales, which I think is the best part about being on a rotational scheme, is that when I joined, I didn't quite know what I wanted to do in engineering. I knew I wanted to go down engineering, but I didn't quite know all the different job roles and the job opportunities around. So I'm able to try out different jobs, see what I do like, see what I don't like, and then use that to decide where I want to go after the scheme. In terms of reasons why I like Thales and why I originally applied, I think the fact that you get 80 hours of volunteering is a great opportunity. Last year, I was able to get into so many different projects, and it allows you to network with people that you wouldn't meet in your day job, and gain those sort of softer skills that you might not gain in a day-to-day job. So yeah, I'm also part of the Early Careers Committee that was mentioned earlier. So I'm the UK EDI rep this year. So there's a bunch of us that are sort of working as a community to try and improve early careers for our cohorts, which is a great opportunity to get involved and try and improve the place you're working. In terms of career support, we get mentors. I also have a coach within Thales, which has been quite helpful. We're trying to manage those situations that come up that you might not have been in before. And there's also within the grad scheme, especially for engineering, there is a PG dip that you go on that allows you to get a professional qualification in engineering competencies. So it's another way to sort of help you through that professional chartership route when you eventually want to go down it. So yeah.
That's great. Thanks so much, Megan. So again, it's nice to hear from someone that's been with us a couple of years, the experience that you've had with us as well, and doing those rotations in different areas. So we've now got David as well. So David's been with us for quite a few years now, haven't you? And you've recently rolled off. So if you want to give your experience and kind of what it's been like rolling off the scheme as well.
Yeah, that's no worries. So, as Kerry said, I'm David. I'm based out of the Belfast site here in Northern Ireland, and I.
Oh no, I think he's frozen. We'll just wait a minute or two just to see if we get David back.
It was bound to be one.
Yeah. If not, I think he's with Richard, so we could always pass him over to speak on Richard's computer. It's nothing like a bit of technology. It wouldn't be normal, would it?
Yeah, he's going to use mine.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Richard.
Hello. Yes, I'm now Richard. This is very cozy now. My apologies. My internet just doesn't work. Can you all hear me okay now?
Yeah.
There we go. Improvising adapt. Easy. Cool. So, as like I said, my name's David. I've been with Thales now for quite a while, for 3 years. So I joined in September 2021, just after COVID. So I studied a master's in mechanical engineering with Queen's University here in Belfast, and I joined what was formerly the old engineering scheme. Very similar to what the new scheme is. We still focused a lot on engineering business management. So like Megan mentioned, we did a postgraduate diploma in engineering business management. I've now completed that. It is a really, really good and beneficial way. And like you said, it's predominantly there to help progress us towards chartership, particularly around the management and leadership aspects of that too. So it's just generally something that people earlier in their careers don't get access to. So Talis being able to apply a bit of effort there can definitely support your journey to becoming chartered at a much younger age. So whenever I first joined, I spent 12 months in Belfast as a engineer. So I worked within the systems team for the technical directorate, and I was responsible for a lot of artificial intelligence engineering delivery. So I did a lot of artificial intelligence for a research company within the MOD called DSTL. So it's a really good way to work closely with the customers and the end users, get a lot of experience in how they deploy operationally, and understand how we can use the likes of artificial learning and or machine learning and artificial intelligence to be able to process through big data and sort out different connectivity issues, and basically allow us to what we call enhance decision advantage and enhance our operational advantage as well. That's about my second year then, a bit different to quite a lot of people. So we've talked a bit about the rotation schemes and how you can rotate within different areas within Thales. One of the things we do offer is how we can rotate outside of Thales too. So I actually went and spent 12 months with the Royal Navy and the Royal Marines. So I lived in Portsmouth. I worked out in Naval Command headquarters. I had an absolutely phenomenal year. Got to go to France, got to go out to the Middle East, got to do a lot of different jobs, see a lot of different places, and speak to a lot of people I probably would never have spoken to in my life. So really, really enjoyed it. And then I came back to Belfast then to the team I was working for before, which is now where I've rolled off into. So what I am at the minute is I'm a future systems engineer. I predominantly specialise in generation after next weapon systems. So sit very much on the protect and defend side of our Thales initiative, and I'm the technical lead for what we call future SHORAD, or future short range air defence. So what we do here in Belfast is predominantly we provide systems that protect and defend our skies over the UK and also overseas as well. So I've had a really good time. My experience has been quite diverse. Like I said, the rotation thing, I think, scares a lot of people. Initially, I know whenever I started being the little country boy that grew up on a farm in Northern Ireland, the idea of going and living in big cities in England is it's not the most enticing. But one thing I would say is I've absolutely loved the rotation scheme, as daunting as it was. Once I got into Portsmouth and once I lived in Portsmouth for a couple of weeks, I actually did sort of settle in and made new friendship groups. And like I said, it's opportunities that I'll probably never get again in my life, but it was something that the Thales graduate scheme was able to afford me. And I think it's reflected in my progression as well over the past 3 years. I've now rolled off into a fairly senior position within the company, and it really is a tribute to the progress and the pace at which Thales pushes you through that engineering delivery, the engineering acumen, and the development journey as well. So it's been a very good time. I'd highly recommend Thales to anybody. So I wasn't a paid advertisement.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, David. That's great, just to give an insight of kind of what you've done over the past couple of years, and now that you've rolled off the scheme and you're in that role that you want to progress in, which is great. So I can see that we've had a couple of questions come through. Again, if you've got any more, please feel free to add them in the chat or the QA. And then what we can do is we can go through them and answer. So if there's any for myself and Ronnie, who works on the early careers team, or again to any of our graduates, we've also got Robert on the call as well. So I don't know if Robert, if you want to quickly introduce yourself as well, and then we can go to any questions.
Hello everyone. Yeah, so I'm Robert. I'm a recent graduate here. I was in uni about 4 months ago, and now I'm here at Thales. I'm a systems engineering graduate, and I studied computer networks and security at uni. So I see a question that asks about the transition from uni from working to Thales, and okay, I can answer that just because I was quite recently at uni, and the transition is great, to be honest. I think it can be very daunting for people to go from an academic environment straight into an important role where you have roles, you have responsibilities, you report to teams, and you're going to be working in a lot of cross-functional teams. But at Thales here, the work culture is very flexible. Everyone really helps you out. Everyone understands that you are coming straight from university, and don't worry, you're not going to, have a heap of work dumped on you, and you're going to have a manager saying, you've got this deadline, get this done. No, but actually you have a great support network around you of buddies, like Megan said. And the early careers team are constantly checking up on you, constantly making sure you're okay, and all the managers here are lovely. So the transition is very stress-free. When you get offered the role, Thales are constantly communicating with you before you start, letting you know the different things, giving you packs, and like Lee said, they do help with relocation. They don't just say, okay, you're relocating here. You can actually claim back relocation fees based on the different requirements that they set. So yeah, the transition is very stress-free, so there's nothing to worry about in that sense.
That's great. Thanks so much, Robert. It's brilliant. Perfect. So Ronnie, I don't know if we've got any questions that you want to ask.
Yeah, let's go through them all. So first question, could you brief on the presence of Thales in East Midlands? So we don't have a specific site, do we, in the East Midlands? The nearest would be Cheadle and Doncaster, or then down a bit to Reading. We don't have a specific site that area. So not that that's a great answer, but if it's if you're thinking about moving, then there would be roles for any of our sites that we've mentioned previously. Right, we've already answered the question there that Robert's answered. So next question, could you briefly explain how it works with placements, deployments? As someone that wouldn't particularly want to move away, is this avoidable? So, Kerry, do you want to answer, or do you want me to answer? Save your voice, up to you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I can give it a go. So again, we have some of our roles that are rotational that you will need to rotate for. So I think most of our business at the moment, except finance, are rotational. And unfortunately with them, you will be required to rotate across our different locations. We do ask if there's a preference of location. However, depending on where the work is and the project would be where, dependent on where you would be based. Most of our engineering are at locations. So if it's an engineering role that you're looking for, then there are locations based engineering roles, again, up and down across our main sites. So in Glasgow, Reading, Crawley, Belfast, etc. The roles are live. So if you wanted to have a look, you can see those roles that are based at a specific location and those ones that are relocation. But again, if they are relocation, unfortunately, as part of this, you will be required to relocate. Richard, did you have an answer to that as well? You put your hand up.
I just wanted to add that when I first was looking at this job, I originally as well wasn't someone who particularly wanted to move away. Um, Obviously coming from London as well, I thought I'd be based in the south, and then being told that I would have to relocate to Belfast was quite a shock. It is a long way away, I will admit. To go home, I do have to fly. But however, saying all that, now being here, it's actually one of the best decisions that I've made, definitely. I'm really loving it here. The people are so lovely, to the extent that I'm most likely thinking about when I roll off the scheme about actually permanently moving out here, especially because the house prices are cheap and it's easier to get on the property ladder. But
Definitely a perk.
it is definitely a perk. But I'd say don't be afraid of it. I definitely say it definitely improves your character for sure and your resilience. And it's there are plenty of opportunities Thales provide, and maybe just in the short term, you'd only be relocating for once a year for 2 years. So and then you'd be finding somewhere more permanent, if that helps.
Real, that's a great answer. Thank you, Richard. I think we've got Megan as well that put her hand up with regards to that.
Yeah, just another point. So in terms of your first placement, obviously you don't get to pick that because you're rolling into the business. And that's preset. But for the grad scheme, especially for engineering, you get a list of potential placements. So there's a list that comes out before you pick of different roles, different business lines, and then also all the locations. So you do have a little bit of control over where you might want to go for your next placement. So it might be that you want to stay at the same site you're currently at, or it might be that you want to go try Glasgow or Belfast. So you do have a little bit of control over where you would go for the next year. So it's not like you get to the end of the year and someone will just, randomly tell you where you're going next. There is a process involved.
Thank you. And Lise?
Yeah, actually, for me, I kind of got to pick where I started in the business. I could pick between marketing and strategy, sales, or communications, and I roughly knew where it would send me. And I actually got my first pick. I was communicating with the person that manages me all throughout the graduate scheme, and I got my first pick, which was strategy and marketing. So depending, I think, on the different schemes, you get more choice. And I also know that next year these are my options, and I already know which one I want to go for and ideally what it would mean. So I think depends on the scheme. And for mine, we're only 3 graduates, so really it's not we're not like too busy.
Great, thank you. Right, next question then. So I study at Heriot-Watt University in the Dubai campus. Could you please let me know the opportunities in the UAE? So we can't help with that, can we, Kerry? Because we're just recruiting for the UK only. But what I would say is have a look on the Thales Careers website. You can search by location and country to see what roles are available, and you can set up an alert on there as well so that you can be reminded, or they'll let you know when any roles come up that might be suitable for you. Okay, next question. Will Thales be sponsoring visas for both full-time as well as apprenticeship roles? Kerry? Oh, or are you just gonna say, do you want to answer that one, or are you?
So I really apologise, guys. I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, so I keep coughing. So with regards to visas, unfortunately, with our roles, we will require you to have SC, which means that you need to be living in the UK between 3 to 5 years, usually 5 years, on the odd occasion 3 years, which means, unfortunately, with regards to visas, it means that we won't be able to sponsor visas. It might be different for our direct entry roles. So if you have a look at our direct entry roles, there might be an opportunity then to be sponsors. But with regards to our grads and apprentice roles, and obviously the length of the scheme, it's a bit more difficult with regards to sponsoring those visas. So hopefully that answers your question there. Lisa, have you got, did you want to follow on from that?
Yeah, I just want to add that I have been living in the UK for about 3.5 years when I've been accepted in Thales and went through everything. So the 5 years is really not absolute. I think starting at 3 years, it's it is very doable. I just wanted to reinforce the idea that 5 years is like the ideal, but a bit before has been done. Do not lose hope if you've been here
Yeah.
only 3 years.
Perfect. Thank you. Hopefully
Right.
that answers the question there.
So next question, where can we find all the information on the application process? So this question popped up actually before we'd got to that part in the presentation. So hopefully we've answered that question already, but I can reinforce that if you do join the Connector platform, the Future Talent platform, then all of that information will be on there for you to look at. And again, you can speak to any of our existing grads who are on the system and speak to them and ask them about their experience. Okay, next question. So we have someone here currently pursuing a Master's in Engineering Management. Are the 2025 graduating Master's students with existing experience eligible to apply? And are the options open to international students as well? Gary, do you want to answer or do you want me to answer?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. What I was going to do is just, sorry, I was just posting the link for our Connector platform into the chat as well, just so if you guys missed the scanning code on the presentation, you've got the link there, and all our content will be updated over the next couple of weeks as well.
Yeah. So yes, if you have a master's or are currently doing a master's, then you're still able to apply for our graduate scheme. That's absolutely fine. And we've just touched on the international students. So yes, you can apply. Please check the criteria in each of the specific advertisements, because a few of our roles are for UK eyes only. So that means you have to have been born in the UK to be able to take on that role. That's because of government restrictions. It's not something that Thales enforce, but it's the rules because of the nature of the work that we do. That's not all of the roles. Some of them are, able to apply. So you just need to make sure that you look carefully at each of the engineering roles. They all actually state in there which version they are. So a lot of them this year are by location, so they're not rotational. So you'll be able to see in the full job description. Okay, and then next question. What are the prospects in Thales for someone with a data science background? I'm currently pursuing my master's in applied data science. Oh, now I wouldn't even know how to answer this in terms of graduate
I can talk about a bit of it.
Yes, please.
So we
we
don't have a specific grad scheme for data science, but within the rotational engineering grad scheme, there are the opportunities to have placements within data analyst teams and DigiOps, which is our digital operations teams. And I believe most of our digital operations are in the degree apprenticeships where you do it for the whole time. But there are the opportunities to be a part of those teams.
Thank you. And I think, like Ronnie said as well, if you have a look on the job adverts, it will let you know as well what degrees are required for the specific engineering role. So have a look at that as well, because if that comes up in there, if that specific degree, then in that area it's probably a chance that you'll be able to, like Megan says, rotate and do a bit of that within the role.
And that was the last question. So does anyone else have any more or want to post anything in the chat? Or
There was one about opportunities abroad after the graduate scheme.
Oh, that one's just.
So yeah, I think I saw that. So with regards to that, once you've rolled off the graduate scheme, then you're more than welcome to have a look at opportunities abroad. Again, this would be part of your development, and you can look at those roles that are abroad in different countries for Thales. But again, because you've rolled off the scheme, that would be for you to seek out those opportunities. And again, you can put yourself forward for them if you fit the job description. So, there's always that opportunity should you wish to do that.
Yeah. It is quite common, isn't it, for people to move to different countries, or some people just go on a secondment for a certain period of time to a different country and then they come back again. So yeah, always options.
Elise?
Yeah, sorry, I realize I'm talking a lot. I actually have a friend that was working for Thales France and she got a job, well, at Thales Singapore. So now she's moved and she's working in Thales Singapore and she's also just about my age. So there is loads of possibilities.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Right, and we do have another question now. So for the engineering scheme, it's quite broad in the sense that this would include all the engineering graduates, so aerospace, mechanical, question mark. So it does say in one of the roles, I mean, in the thing, in the job description, but if any of our graduates know exactly what all of the engineering degrees are that are applicable, please feel free.
So the engineering graduate schemes are broken down then into systems, hardware, and software. Systems is quite a generic one. It doesn't really require a particular engineering background, degree, master's, whatever, to be applied to it. The hardware is very much mechanical, electrical, more practical applications and stuff, and software is predominantly software engineering. We also take things like computer science, data analytics, all that stuff comes under software too. So it is quite broad. Like I said, most of the aerospace mechanical ones, they'll tend to go into hardware and look at things like arrows and structures, electrical, optical design, stuff like that. And then, like I said, systems is a more abstracted view of engineering. So there's no particular discipline that's specialized in systems. But typically arrows, mechanical, software, electrical, they'll all be mixtures of those sort of people in systems engineering too.
Thank you. Right, one more question. Could I ask if Thales prefers 1-page or 2-page CVs? Harry?
Yeah, so with regards to CVs, there isn't a preference. All I would say is just make sure you have the key information on there. So the degree that you're doing, and stuff like that. And, you know, any A levels, GCSEs, we just need the main information on the CVs for us to look at. With regards to anything else, so any extracurricular, we don't necessarily look into stuff like that. We just want to make sure that you've got that degree in that specific subject that you need to for engineering, for example, or finance, which also needs specific degrees. But then our business, there isn't a specific degree that we need. So as long as you've got a degree, then we're quite open. So it's just having that key information on the CV for us to have a look at that we need.
Thanks. Right, one more question that's popped up. Will the chances of sponsorship vary for an ex-Thales employee to a new employee? No.
What do you mean with regards to sponsorship? Sorry if I misinterpreting that question.
Well, we don't offer sponsorship as a early careers program at all.
No.
So oh, right. So then during relocation and moving around, would you be put in an area where you don't have background studies on? Say you studied aerospace, but then relocated in Thales in a data analysis area. Right, go for it, David.
So touch on what Megan said earlier. So your first placement is probably the only one that's sort of outside of your control. So you'll go wherever there is a business need for an engineer. Most of the time, they'll try to match that based upon what your specialism and what your discipline is. And then from then onwards, then, like you said, you then choose the direction of your career. So if you studied aerospace and you want to remain within aerospace, you can pick placements and rotational opportunities that are aligned with aerospace. If you do fancy a change and you would like to try electrical, mechanical systems, whatever you fancy, again, you can put those down as your preference and change the direction for your career. So it's very much your career, your way, and Thales is there to support that journey as well. So there's plenty of opportunities. You'll never be stuck where there's not an opportunity in your discipline. So it is, like I said, it's down to you then to pick the direction and the narrative for the career that you want, and we'll be there to support your journey.
Great, thank you. And that was the last question.
Perfect. That's great. So that's with 3 minutes to spare. So thank you everyone for joining us. And obviously thank you to all the graduates as well from Thales that come on and joined us today. I think most of them that have joined our the webinar today are also on Connector for mentoring to be a buddy. So again, if you have any questions, you can sign up and reach out to them and ask any further questions that you want. Nahil, I think we're passing back to you now, aren't we?
Yes, thank you so much, everybody, for your time. I hope that you had a wonderful experience listening to our Thales representatives, and thank you all who joined and registered for this webinar. We hope that you found it insightful and engaging, and if you're interested to explore Thales further, please visit their profile on our Target Jobs website. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, all.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.